Breakdown presented by Blitzlytics.com, where scouting meets analytics and you meet the newest crop of off-field talent. I am Jack Bourgeois, my man to my right? I always get it mixed up because it's flip-flops,
It's on the Blitzlytics shirt side. Yeah, to the side over there, yeah.
A.K.A. Mr. Robert Robinson, Mr. 2-0 Rams fan, Mr. 1-1 Bucks fan. Both got the wins this weekend. Damn, does it feel good, man, to be in the win column as a Bucks fan, but I'm sure it feels a whole lot better to be 2-0 as a Rams fan, especially when we're coming into this season. We really did not have high hopes.
Nah. Supposed to start 0-2, right? We were supposed to start 0-2, so I'll take these two up. We had them 9-7 starting 0-2, baby, so I'll take that start.
Yeah. I think, man, there could be three teams from the NFC West this year, and it may not be the Niners, but we will get into that. There is a lot of stuff going on in the NFL right now. We have a laundry list. You remember those movies where they pull the scroll down and
it just rolls for days,
going out the front door.
Yeah,
that's exactly the list of injuries right now. I mean, you talk about Saquon Barkley broke my heart twice now in 2 seasons. I took him with the second pick twice. Fantasy football doesn't matter. I honestly am heartbroken for him personally. But yeah, my fantasy teams do hurt, and I think I'm cursed. I'm cursed at pick 1 and 2. Never again. I don't ever want those picks, because every time I take those picks, then that player gets hurt. It doesn't matter who it is. It's throughout history, those picks are cursed.
They are. I've never done well in the top 3 of the fantasy draft, and I've won plenty of championships, but I prefer to get what falls to me. I like to be on the back end, flip around anyway, so it seems to work out better for me that way.
But man, I mean, it's crazy to think that just 2 weeks ago we were talking about the Niners as a NFC contender, somebody that it's going to be hard to beat, and they still have a ton of talent. Do not get me wrong. This is a team that is going to be hard to beat. This is a team that I think we are going to really see. We're really going to see just force the ball into the run game. But with Jimmy Garoppolo now out, Raheem Mostert out, you're talking about Richard Sherman's already been out, and then to lose Nick Bosa for the season with an ACL on top of Solomon Thomas and Nick Bosa
on the same drive. Same drive.
Oh man, my heart goes out to Niners fans. They have to be completely crushed. It's rough. It is rough for sure. So, there's other injuries, but that to me sticks out the most. Let's go through the list. There is a ton of them, but you're talking about, Christian McCaffrey's down for at least, they're saying 2 to 4 weeks, maybe even more. Garoppolo's down. Tyrod Taylor got hurt before even. It's like getting fired on your day off. How you
get fired on your day off, Craig?
How you get hurt during practice? I don't know what it was. He was suffering some chest pains. We still haven't figured out exactly what it was, but Justin Herbert ended up getting a start. Again, we'll dive into that. Drew Lock got hurt. The list goes on and on and on. Michael Thomas got hurt, coming into this weekend. But man, if you drafted, almost half of the first round picks in fantasy football are now down for the count. It's rough out there. It is.
It is. Fantasy-wise, a lot of guys woke up this morning just tilting, looking for replacements, and great time to plug the book, 2020 Prospect Encyclopedia. Got you covered when you're looking for players like that.
I hate to say it, but you are not lying, though.
I knew it would be valuable, but I did not expect going into week 3 that we would be replacing, like you said, the greater majority of first and second round fantasy drafts. It's insane, and we'll talk about it real quick, I guess. The reason why, and the people who are saying, oh, you can't prove it's the lack of this and that in preseason and can't. Well, what else is it, guys? You can only chalk so much up to luck, right? And if you've ever been hit by a grown-ass man, it's easier to get hit by a grown-ass man the more you get hit by that grown man. So the soft tissue injuries, ACL's not really ready to rock at full speed. I think it's a direct correlation with the lack of preseason and preseason camps and everything. But I'll let you speak on that. I see it all over Twitter. It's just bad luck. It's just bad luck. And at some point you have to understand that you start to make some of your own luck. And with the lack of the preseason and everything, it was never written in the stars for us to get through without some major injuries.
No, I think that shortened off seasons dating back to the last CBA or 2 CBAs ago, I should say, when they really shortened and minimized the off season or preseason hitting, off season workouts, limited as much as they possibly could to in terms of trying to eliminate injury, trying to make sure that people are safe, trying to reduce the concussions and the head trauma. But at the same time, you have to harden your body to play football. Right. This is the hardest sport pretty much in the planet, on somebody's body. Even NHL players take hits, bull riders get banged up and get injured more than anybody else, but nobody is getting constant, blows to the body, blows to the head, smashing. Even in MMA, like they take it light up until the fight. They have a couple hard sparring sessions, right. But these guys aren't getting the crap out of them day in and day out. Just imagine what offensive linemen and defensive linemen have to go through, basically getting, having somebody that size, that big, that strong, that physical, that athletic, and having to hit them every day, hundreds of times a day. Like it takes its toll. And for them to not have a full off season and preseason to get ready for that, it shows. So anybody who says that, I think they've just never played a snap of football in their life, and they don't know what it means to get like there's being in shape and then there's being in football shape.
Thank you. Exactly. If you think that it didn't have any effect on it, go outside right now, run a couple miles, and then run yourself into a wall and see if tomorrow you don't wake up hurting all to hell. It's just what it is. And I think you're fully right. It's the getting whacked a couple of times. And again, it's slow roll in the preseason, right? Because the starters really do only play a couple of series here or there, but it allows them to get hit a couple of times. It allows the defender to get that angle and figure out where it's going. And you might be hit by a second and third string defender instead of, like we said beforehand, an Aaron Donald, a Khalil Mack, a big boy, the first time. And it's starting to show for me. And for those who say it has no effect, you've never done anything athletic. Look at me. I'm fat, and at least I know better than that. Come on.
Bunch of pencil pushers.
Yeah.
Nerds. Just kidding. Love the nerds. But there's a lot of things that come from this now. And again, this prospect encyclopedia is now chocked up full of information that we didn't even think was going to be this valuable. There's so many players now that we did not expect to jump into starting roles. From Justin Herbert, who did play pretty well this weekend.
He did look good.
He looked good. I mean, we know he's got a cannon for an arm, but there is a lot of plays. If you really break down the film, there's a lot of stuff I didn't like. There's a lot of rookie mistakes. Again, he didn't take almost a single. I don't think he took a single snap.
He knew 5 to 10 minutes before he took the field he was going to be the starter too. So, and that works for the defense as well, though. So I'm not just going to say, you got to look over what Herbert did, because the defense wasn't ready for him either. They planned all week for Tyrod. All of a sudden, Justin Herbert's on the field. He's a completely different player. I will say there were some great throws that really do get you excited about the kid, like dropped a couple in a bucket. Composure was pretty good. Took a early sack that was pretty silly. Had an easy chance to throw it away. But again, that comes with time back there. You've got some stuff to be excited about. Now, again, I'm with you. The whole world just instantly going gaga over him. I take a step back. There were some throws that less than perfect, some decisions less than perfect. And again, the defenses moving forward are going to be more ready for him, right? So, but there were some things that you just, okay, now I remember why they were talking maybe possibly a number 1 pick a couple years ago and then decided to stay in college. So, you saw both flashes and you saw some detrimental things, but I think overall it was a nice debut. Anthony Lynn's got something to look forward to, and I loved his quote. They were like, who's going to start? And he's like, well, Tyrod's my starter. Well, what about Herbert? Well, we lost the damn game.
Yeah. So, did we win? All right, then.
So, yeah, I love Anthony Lynn's attitude.
I mean, the thing is, and like we just said, it's basically there is one type of offense you run with Tyrod Taylor, and it is a very, very... It is not sophisticated. It is very safe. It is very run heavy.
Built on protecting the ball in time and possession and all that.
Think about if Tyrod Taylor would have been in the second half, and protecting the ball and running the ball and protecting a lead, Tyrod Taylor might have been able to win that game. Do I still think Patrick Mahomes pulls it off? Probably, but it may be a different story. Just because he put up 300 yards passing doesn't mean how many touchdowns he throw. That's the thing is if he would have lit it up for 5 touchdowns and 300 yards, then we got a different story. But Tyrod Taylor wins games. Like, it's proven that Tyrod Taylor is a winner. Is he a great quarterback? Is he an amazing arm talent? No. Never has been, never will be. But he's very, very smart. He knows when to run. He knows when to hold the ball.
One of the best game managers in the league, and has the ability to do a little more than your average game manager. I still think they lose the game, though, guys. I think they lose worse with Tyrod because the Chiefs were just ready for him, right? The Chiefs' defense looked just completely like, what the hell's going on here? On a couple of them, I would temper they'd have been in that game. We'll see. I'm curious. What's your guess? Week three, is it Herbert or you're absolutely right, but would they have had the lead is the question.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
it's one of those things, right? Like, just throw Herbert out there till we get the lead, and then we'll have Tyrod finish the game. Boom, boom. We'll treat it like closers and starters in baseball. But week 3, what's your gut say? Who's the guy going into week 3, assuming Tyrod is playably healthy?
If Tyrod's healthy, it's definitely going to be Tyrod.
That's where I am
that's
too.
The thing is I think Anthony Lynn is a true old school coach. He obviously loves to run the ball, and he trusts Tyrod Taylor. He does not trust Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, like we seen, like you watched Hard Knocks, or like it wasn't pretty. Like, he threw a lot of interceptions during those filming Hard Knocks, like. And I think that could happen. Remember when Drew Lock lit it up last year?
I do.
Remember when that happened? Remember it was like, oh my God, Drew Lock's this, Drew Lock's that, and then it kind of tempered, and then we seen what happened. I mean, he did get hurt this week, and he did have, he's had, Cortland Sutton go down. There's another guy that's down for the year.
Man,
super sad. One of our favorites, especially Cody's year 3 wide receivers, somebody that we've been super, super high on for years now. And he finally has a quarterback with some talent. I mean, I'm not hating on Drew Lock. He's got some arm talent.
Right.
But just because you can come up with an offense that they haven't seen before and you're going to run a bunch of plays that they haven't seen before does not make you a good quarterback. And that's exactly what it was this past weekend.
Right. We've seen it throughout history, right? Guys come in, get a couple wins, rip a couple wins off, and then teams get ready for them, and all of a sudden they're not the superstar you thought they were for the first few weeks.
And then, I mean, it's funny because I think we go back and forth, and like, you seen how hot we got the group chat in last night. Like, I threw a little shade at all you guys, and then freaking it.
Here we go.
Lit up. I'm not trying to rub nobody's nose in it.
Hey, go ahead.
I'm just saying that, like, we can't overreact. And so, like, for any of us, I mean, we can't overreact, but at the same time, we've been talking about football without football, so we have to at least talk about the
right. It's hard to not get excited because you haven't had it, right? And it's just like, all the feelings all at once.
So I will say, like, I'm going to temper my expectations on the Raiders a little bit. Like, I know they've played really good, and they've been very, very impressive over the first 2 weeks. But I'm going to say that same thing. The people that are like talking about Herbert, we have to all temper expectations.
Same thing with this symbol here on my head.
Pick and choose what we're gonna get excited about.
These Rams. I was talking with Cody about it last night. Sure, I'm very happy to be 2-0, and the scores looked very good, but both wins were kind of fluky for me, right? Like.
Yeah.
It didn't, like, even this week with Philadelphia, sure, we won by multiple scores, but we didn't have a sack. Had you told me that we would be playing a beat-down Eagles offensive line and we had no sacks, I would not have said we won that game.
Damn,
so,
and to think,
super fluky.
Your boy AD was going up against my boy Nate Herbig. Couple times, I know that.
That's a win. Anytime you leave a game and Aaron Donald didn't get a sack, it's a win.
Yeah. But then again, like, that's the thing too, is that Carson Wentz. Did you hear what the quote? What Peterson said?
Why is he regressing in year 5? And said, "Good question." I don't know.
Good question. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, puta, man. That's not good. You don't want to hear that. And especially, what's crazy is him and Golf have always been compared because they came from the same draft class. And it was one being picked over the other. Who was going to be the best quarterback between the two? And now Golf is looking like, it was Goff went down and Carson Wentz went up, and then Carson Wentz got injured, and then Goff had a good season, and then Goff had a bad season. And
and that's part of my issue with
these guys.
Right, and that's part of my issue with the whole let's throw a guy in and let's just get him going, and if he doesn't do it, he's a bust. Right? It takes some guys are different, man. Carson came out, and I think we saw his ceiling super early, right? Like he just went from zero to ceiling. Goff was little. We saw the up, we saw the down. Now we're back in the up, and he's definitely a more up and down guy who it may take 3, 4, 5 years before he legitimately finds out exactly where to pinpoint what his job is, what he's going to do. And I think that's what you're seeing is that Wentz just came right out like a gangbuster, and we saw his ceiling, right? I think we might have done it with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield came right out, looked okay year one. Not great, not Hall of Fame kind of great, but looked better than he has since. And then you've got a guy like a Darnold, who we haven't really seen a lot from. It's probably put on Gase. I'm curious to see what happens with you, right? I don't know nothing about that. But stick him in a different scenario, and Sam Darnold may flourish too. So it's hard to just come right out and say, boom, this guy's great, this guy's a bust in 3 years, which is kind of what we want now. But it wasn't that long ago you would draft a quarterback and you knew he wasn't going to see the field for at least a full year, maybe 2, could be 3. Look how long Aaron Rodgers was backing up Brett Favre before he came in. So I kind of don't like this instant gratification generation of the NFL. I'm an old school grow as we go.
Perfect way to put it. We have to remember, like, I think we get kind of spoiled when you see the Aaron Rodgers, when you see the Patty Mahomes,
Lamar,
well, no, because Lamar gets put into this category. Lamar rookie year, not so good. Lamar in Greg Roman's offense, outstanding.
Right, showed growth and proper timing.
A lot of these guys, it's growth, but it's having an offense. Like, I think there's a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL, a Dak Prescott, that they're not going to carry a team by themselves. You got to put an offense around them.
Sure.
If you took a Sam Darnold, again, like I was sipping my tea on Sam because I called that. A lot of us did. A lot of us did not like him. There was the same thing. We did not like Josh Rosen. But at the same time, we understand you have to take those guys in the top 15, top 20. You have to. You can't not take a swing at a quarterback.
Right.
Who knows what Sam Darnold could be because the upside is outstanding.
Or Darnold and Rosen in Kansas City. Sure, Patrick's great. But would Patrick have been Patrick in Houston, for instance? I don't know, man. Andy Reid is so good at what he does that maybe had that been Rosen, we're talking about Rosen being great. Maybe had that been
Back up on that one.
Rosen clearly has talent. Rosen's
a practice squad player on the Bucs right now.
If you're a first round draft pick, you have talent. It comes in work ethic and system. To me, like that's what Jamarcus Russell didn't have the work ethic. Rosen didn't go to the system. Darnold didn't go to a system that benefits him. So I don't think we have a lot of traditional just fuck it, we're busts, right? Like you are a football player in the first round of the NFL. It's draft. It's just how much do you want to go from good to great, right? Everyone talks shit about these guys that are in the NFL, but I'll tell you what, the guy at the back end of an NFL roster is still great at football. So it's all about system, opportunity. Kurt Warner, for example, what happens if Trent Green doesn't go down? We don't get Kurt Warner. You know what I mean? So it's opportunity for a lot of these guys, and it just cool your britches with everything has to be instantly great, right? Like a guy like Josh Jacobs, he just keeps getting better. Whereas Saquon and Todd, maybe we've seen the best of them, right? I don't think we've seen the best of Josh Jacobs. He's a grower, not a shower, as they say. Wink, wink. You know what I mean? So, but I think that's pretty typical across the league.
Oh, man. It's like Ali Marpet. Oh, I'm going to give him an inch.
Give him an inch.
Oh, my God. All right. I'm going to give him an inch. I don't know, for you guys that didn't see the quote, Leonard Fournette said it was praising his offensive line. He says, if they give me an inch, I'll take a mile. And without skipping a beat, Ali Marpet said, I'm going to give him an inch. I'm going to give him more than an inch. But, man, you know what? All in all, though, this past weekend, I mean, we can break down every game if we really want to. We could be here all damn day.
Good.
But some of these games, I mean, the Falcons-Cowboys game, that was one of the best games I've ever seen.
Bye-bye, Dan Quinn. Get the hell out of here, man.
Bye-bye, Dan. Bye-bye.
Deuces. Deuces. That was ugly.
The game last night, outstanding.
Wonderful game.
Monday night game was great. Sunday night game, great. Kansas City Charger or the KC versus the LA Chargers. That game was amazing. How do you kick 3 game-winning field goals of what? Was it 56?
Something like 50, 53, 56. It doesn't matter.
It was 56 or 53, but it was outstanding. I mean, it was impeccable that you can't have a more clutch kicker to kick 3 straight field goals and they all go in right down the exact same spot. He hit those suckers like there was no wobble. There was no, is this one going to go in or not? They were right down the dead center. He bullseyed those things 3 in a row.
The Chiefs have full faith in Butker. Full faith.
Who is that on Suicide Deadshot? That's who he looked like.
Just right down the horn.
That is, for me, he is now Will Smith's Deadshot. That is exactly what it is. I think that's his name, right?
Yeah, I think so. Whatever. It's a pretty crappy movie.
Bills and Dolphins came down to the wire. You know, I think Dolphins are a better team than I think we all give them credit for. I know you and me have kind of been, you know, we like the talent. We love Brian Flores.
Love the coaching staff. Love it.
Well, you know, you can only do so much with so little, and they're still building a team, but they are building it right. Iffy on the taking the cornerback when you already have 2 cornerbacks in this first round, but it's all right. I mean, to each his own. But I mean, the Broncos Steelers game, that was a good one. Every game, Titans and Jaguars came down to the wire. I mean, every one of these games, you know, the Bucks came out to an early lead. Carolina kind of came roaring back when they loosened up on defense. A couple good plays there, but so many of these games were so competitive. This might have been my favorite week of football, and maybe that's just because Tom Brady got his first win in a Bucks uniform.
I'll take last week when there were less injuries and only 1 blowout. But I mean, far as total overall gameplay, sure, this week was great, minus the litany of guys going down. I do want to touch on that Falcons-Cowboys game real quick because my blood is boiling now that you've mentioned it. How the hell do the Falcons not know that the Cowboys can't touch it, but you can? You can fall on it before it hits 10, guys. It's okay. It's not in the rules that you can't touch it. How they had 5 guys around a ball and nobody thought to be the one to land on it at 8, 9, or 7 yards.
What it was is they assumed that ball was going to stop rolling, and it just kept going and going and going. That I understand thinking that it's gonna lose momentum, but yeah, when you're right there, just fall on the damn thing. But if they do fall on it and they don't get it and they give it up to them, then you're probably getting fired. So
probably getting fired anyway, bro. You found a way to lose another game.
Getting fired.
You found a way to lose another game. You were 99% slated to win in the 4th quarter in the last 3 minutes, and you did it again. You did it again, Dan Quinn. I did not think it was possible after the Super Bowl, but you found a way to do it again. This is coaching to me. That team is loaded with talent. How does this keep happening? It's discipline and coaching.
Do you think if the Atlanta Falcons are wearing a Patriots uniform that Bill Belichick can win a Super Bowl with that talent?
No doubt.
I agree.
No doubt.
100% think that they could. It did hurt me to see them kind of pull the reins back from Todd Gurley, though.
I mean, he got a bulk of rushes. Todd's not in football. Again, I think by week 3 or 4 we'll have a lot of more answers for some of these guys who aren't in game shape, right? And I don't think Todd's in game shape, and he's one of those guys that really needs to be in game shape before he's fully blown out. But
it's the explosion. You don't see the burst from him
exactly
anymore. And you saw it from Brian Hill. But you didn't see it from Gurley. Gurley is still like a thumper between the tackles. He's still going to get those good yards, but I don't think we definitely seen the best of him.
Yeah, I think the best years are definitely behind him.
I was hoping, just as a fan of Todd Gurley, because I loved him coming out of Georgia, that maybe we get one or 2 more years out of him. I didn't want to see it as a Bucs fan, but I definitely wanted to see it as a fan of Todd Gurley.
That's the other thing too, though.
Think that's the case,
Falcons, I think a lot of it is coaching as well, right? When it seemed like they only ran when the script says run, right? So the defense knows it's coming. So you're not giving him the best opportunity. You're not being creative in the play calling. The only reason they're scoring that many points is because Ridley, Julio, Matt Ryan, all these guys are legit ball players, and they're scrolling. They're getting by on talent right now. The game plan is trash. The scripting is trash. Dan Quinn doesn't know how to close a door or a game.
Did you see that one stat? It was so there was 3 turnovers by Dallas and 0 turnovers by Atlanta, and I think whatever the stat was no team in NFL history
had scored that many points and had no turnovers and lost.
And still lost. Yeah.
Let's say this. If there's a trivia question and the answer is but still lost, the answer is probably the Falcons. Let's just go there and say that. Jesus, guys.
It's how to lose the game for 200.
Have Dan Quinn as your coach fourth quarter because he don't know how to. He doesn't know how to end it.
Yeah,
it's 100% the fact. He just doesn't know how to end it.
Dan Quinn for 200.
Dan Quinn 200.
How to lose an NFL game.
Silly.
Written by Dan Quinn.
Silly.
Dude, it's just bad. But I mean, outside again, that you know what, man, I was impressed by was Russell Wilson is one. I mean, we got to talk about Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray as being the MVP candidates. It's part of our little script we got right now. And
Russ is 1A clearly.
Impressed with Cam Newton. Like Cam Newton, if 2-0 right now, we'd have to be talking about him in this race too. And he got edged by arguably the best quarterback in the NFL right now. 1A, 1B. 1C at worst, but still, to see them go run heavy and to do everything they did and it come down to one last play, didn't that remind you of the Super Bowl though? I mean, goal line stand, Seattle versus New England, and Seattle stops them again. It was just there was too much deja vu with that. But then to see it was Cam Newton and not Tom Brady.
I didn't like the play call at the end though. I didn't like that. I would have liked to seen maybe RPO or something where he had a guy he could have ditched it to, because as soon as it broke, you knew it was over. Like that defense was there. Like they had expected that exact play. So maybe you have an RPO, but again,
but they hadn't stopped it.
They hadn't. They chose to wait until that minute to stop it, and I'll be damned if that minute it didn't work perfect. And on tape it looked really bad. But Jack is right. They hadn't stopped it all game, so I get why you do it. But it would have been nice to have some sort of safety valve for Cam because he was committed to just it was Cam or nothing, right? There was no option.
I agree. To have the RPO, to have a second option instead of like, all right, we're running it right here.
If there'd have been a back there, it was over. New England wins because they had focused so much on Cam. The entire left side was just wide open.
Yeah. Honestly, a bootleg.
Right, bootleg would have been
nice.
You
said an RPO or just a bootleg with a pass option to where he can either run it or throw it, or to have him spread out though. What if they go 5 wide and they force him to pull everybody out?
Right, he might have hit that gap right there, but there was no gap.
And then he does that.
Yeah, no gap.
What happens then?
I'm with you, man, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, and again, this is every so often Josh McDaniels kind of does like something to where you question his play calling, and you shouldn't, because he is, as much as I kind of dislike Josh McDaniels, he is a hell of a play caller. He is a hell of an offensive coordinator. But every now and then, I think he almost gets kind of thick-headed.
Cocky. It feels like the same way I feel about McVay. When McVay's on, shit, good luck, bro. Good luck. McVay is a genius. But the problem is sometimes he gets in his head and he thinks of himself as a genius, and he's just like, here it is. Make it happen. And it just doesn't happen that way. So, but again, Cam looks great. I screw the rest of the NFL for letting the Patriots have him for pennies. I think the Raiders are Super Bowl contenders with him. I think Denver would be a Super Bowl contender with him. There's a handful of teams that should not have let him become a Patriot.
Man,
I know the Raiders thing gets you, but
I know Carr is just the better fit. Like Gruden is not coming up with some sophisticated exotic offense. Like Gruden's gonna run his old school offense. It's gonna be featured. I mean, look at how much he featured his tight end and his running back, and then everything else came second and third.
Yeah, which have been classically Cam's go-to guys, tight end, running back. The only difference is Cam can fucking run like Derek can't. So I will eat a little crow. Derek Carr is not as bad as I may have alluded to in the past. What I said last night finally got me clarity on Derek Carr. Derek Carr is really, really good, but I do not think he is the Super Bowl quarterback. He feels like a guy that builds the team up, you get real close, then the guy comes in and wins it.
If Nick Foles can win a Super Bowl, Derek Carr can win a Super Bowl.
I'm pretty sure that people in Philly sold souls to get that.
One more draft class. They need one more draft class to hit on again. And I mean, they're hitting on their draft picks. I mean,
they are. Mayock's done wonderfully.
I mean, that's been the thing is like they've taken some of Blitzlick's favorite players: Hunter Renfrow, Max Crosby, Jonathan Abrams.
Right.
Like these guys are guys that we've been high on. So, anybody to still be hating on the Raiders because my back has been up against the wall and I've been the only one. I know Jason's been Jason was bullish on Carr too, but he was more so for the fact that he thought that they were gonna get rid of Carr and he wanted him as the Patriots quarterback because Bill can definitely win with Derek Carr.
Yeah, it's Tom Brady like.
Definitely win with Derek Carr, because he is kind of a spitting image in terms of style of play. He's a spitting image to Tom Brady.
Sure.
And can he throw the deep ball? Yeah, we've seen it now. We've seen it with Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the third as of right now. I think the number 3 or number 4. Most accurate deep ball thrower of 20-plus yards. And Derek Carr hit Ruggs week 1 on a big one. He's had some good throws. That's the thing. He's laser pinpoint accurate. He doesn't have a cannon for an arm. He's probably the least sexiest quarterback there is. And it's kind of easy to...
He gets too much in a groove for me. He gets too much in a groove for me. It's also easy to shut him down if you know what the f*** you're doing. I don't know why New Orleans... Either they don't have somebody who can do anything with Darren Waller at all, or didn't try to, and we're like, okay, that's going to be where we let him get, and we're going to try and stop everything else. He got so in love with Waller. He just so in love. If you look at the stats, I'm pretty sure Waller was like 35-40% of the offense for the Raiders last night.
Yeah, well, between him and Jacobs, it was like
it was insane. So the thing is can you shut down what makes him comfortable? And I think if you can beat the Raiders, right? Whereas a guy like a game-changing quarterback, okay, well, you took away number 1, I'll go to number 2. When you take 2, I'll go to 3. When you take 3, I'll dump off, right? Like a Patrick Mahomes' greatest thing is it doesn't matter who's out there.
But we can't say he didn't. He just didn't have to do that. And that's the thing is that the Raiders seen it. If you check out the Prospect Encyclopedia, where in my New Orleans Saints preview, I talk about how they do not have really good any coverage linebackers, and that's what they exploited. Malcolm Jenkins is an awesome safety. They've got some good guys in the secondary, but it's Darren Waller is a tough matchup, and Darren Waller is going to be a tough matchup for anybody.
I also don't think this win.
The most athletic tight end in the NFL.
Oh, and sick. Darren Waller is a sick talent. I don't mean to encroach on his talent level at all. But I also do not think this win is as impressive as a lot of NFL fans do. I do not think the Saints are near what people think the Saints are, especially minus Michael Thomas. I was low on them before Mike got hurt. Without Michael Thomas, you saw last night they sputter, right? Drew doesn't have that safety blanket that I know I can get a first down because Michael just catches fucking everything. So on 1, 2, and 3, I may try something a little ballsier, right? And then come third down, here's Mike Thomas for the first. With that out, I honestly, I'm not afraid of the Saints.
No, and I mean, look at what they did last week against the Bucs. Like the Bucs gave them 21 points, and they still only won by 11.
Exactly.
If the Bucs don't have the bonehead turnovers, even just that one turnover, the one turnover on in the kickoff, then that's probably a 14-point swing right there because the drive before that, Tom Brady got in a groove and was driving like it was nobody's business. So if you take that into consideration, you take into consideration the Bucs held them to 4 yards per attempt, and then it was is really close to that same statistic last night. I do think that the Bucs are a really good defense, top 5 defense in the NFL. I think the Raiders are a sneaky top 10 defense in the NFL though too, especially with Jonathan Abrams. He is so fun to watch,
bro. lightning in a bottle. That guy is a scary moment when he ran into that cart. What in the hell do you guys have all that shit on the sidelines for, man? That was a perfect example of why we don't need all that crap there. I was watching that game and it was just, oh man, he's not moving. I was legitimately scared for Abrams. Because he just throws himself around like a missile. Part of what I love about him is also what scares me about him. But there's no denying that guy just has no care for his body. It's go out, get that hit that ball, win this game. And that's old school football. Perfect for a Raider. I absolutely love the kid. Yeah. So glad he was fine after that.
And politics out of it. I think when Drew Brees kind of distanced himself from the locker room with what happened this offseason, and the statements that were made, regardless of what you think of the statements, I'm not going to get into that. But what I will say is I think this is a different team, and I don't think they're playing to get Drew one more ring.
I can fully agree. Like they're not playing to lose games, but it's that old march out behind your captain kind of thing, right? Yeah. I'm willing to die for this. I don't it doesn't feel the same, man. I don't think so. Same with Kamara. Why was it so hard to negotiate? Why was this? Well, you only care about Michael. And then now Michael's like, well, I'm the greatest in the league. Well, you're kind of a slant only guy. It's like you're kind of the camaraderie that's been there through the whole Drew Brees era definitely feels like it's slipping. You saw in the prospect encyclopedia, they are not a deep team. They cannot survive injuries, especially to their upper echelon players. I do not like the Saints moving forward. I'll tell you what, without fans in the dome field advantage doesn't bother me at all.
No.
I'm not high on the Saints at all. I would not be surprised if they do not make the playoffs.
I think the Bucs are going to have a pretty, barring injury, you never know, but I think the Bucs are going to have a pretty easy go at taking this division. Looking at the Falcons could win any game, but they could obviously lose
any game too. Yeah,
and they could get hot. They'll probably get hot in the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season, and they won't matter. But they'll win some meaningless games, and they'll hurt some people's playoff chances. I think the Bucs, though, especially with the offensive lines in the NFC South right now, New Orleans doesn't have to get rid of a Pro Bowl guard and replace them with a rookie center who is Cesar Ruiz the beast, but he's undersized to be playing the guard position. I think so. He's extremely athletic. He's strong as all hell, but he is slightly undersized. He is, centers can be a little bit smaller. Centers can be 6'2" and 300 or 290, and still be able to make it happen. Dude, not against Vita Vea. Not against freaking Kwan Short. Not against Ndamukong Suh, who balled out yesterday. Or 2 days ago. Man, that was...
The Bucs defense is pretty good. I said after week 1, I'm way more concerned with the Saints in a win than I was with the Bucs in a loss. Like, you could pinpoint what happened to the Bucs. Okay, couple mistakes here. Like you said earlier, a 14-point swing on one play is 1 or 2 plays, would have won that game. I still don't know exactly what's wrong with the Saints. Is Drew washed? Like, what do he have? 186?
That arm's been tired for years.
Yeah, it looks way tired.
TV since day one. Dating back 2-3 years ago, his arm hasn't held up for a full season. I don't even think it's there right now.
I don't either.
They are going to have to rely more so on Taysom Hill. I think Taysom Hill is going to have a huge role this next week. And I'm definitely not saying this team is better off with Jameis under the helm, but they'll probably I think they'd put up more points.
I do too.
Up more points, but they put up more points.
I do too. And maybe Jameis can get something done without Mike there. And I'm also of the assumption that when MT comes back, it's not going to look great either. He's going to rush himself back. He's not going to be 100%. He's going to have that lingering injury. Lingering injuries lead to additional injuries. And before you know it, this season is going to get away from them. I honestly, if they played the Falcons or Carolina right now, I'd be 50-50 on who to pick in that game. I don't think the Saints are that good.
Michael Thomas played a majority of that first game. He only had 3 receptions on 5 targets.
Yeah.
And that's we're talking about Carlton Davis and Sean Murphy Bunting and Jamal Dean.
Right. That's not Ramsey back there. It's
no, it's not. Yeah, it's not like
not yet anyway.
Bucks do not have shutdown corners. We have good corners, and we have corners that tend to give up a couple big
play
plays,
super well together though. The defense plays well together. They know where that guy's flaw is going to be. It seems like, and the other guy will come make up for that. That's what I liked about him.
I like the back end of our defense is amazing. Between Antoine Winfield Jr. has been playing lights out. Sorry, you guys can hear my dog. And then she's not allowed in the room, not allowed in my sight right now. But between Whitehead and Antoine Winfield Jr., they've been playing lights out. I mean, I think to hear Whitehead has got multiple interceptions already. I mean, they're playing lights out. Antoine Winfield Jr. is trying his damnedest to beat Levante David and Devin White to the ball. He'd have a lot more sacks or a lot more tackles if we didn't have such good linebackers. But there's a lot of things for the Bucks. Like this was kind of a get right game for us. And on top of that, we had 8 drops. We dropped 3 touchdowns. There was 21 points left on the board for the Bucks. This could have and should have been a complete and utter blowout. Todd Bowles kind of gave up points. He backed off. Once you got a 21-point lead, you kind of just start playing a little looser. You don't want to give up one big play and change everything.
Yeah, conservative.
I'd rather give up a long drive, and that's what they did. But they also Todd Bowles. What's amazing is Todd Bowles has held Christian McCaffrey to 2.3 yards per attempt since taking over for the Bucks as a defensive coordinator. That is massive. When you could basically eliminate. He hasn't had a 100-yard game against us. Yeah, he's getting touchdowns, but I mean, somebody was going to get those touchdowns anyways. Might as well be Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
It's impressive to see how well we can shut down the run, especially against an Alvin Kamara and a Christian McCaffrey week 1 and week 2, and we're still the number 4 ranked. Just wait, give it a few weeks. I mean, who are we playing this weekend? Denver. It's gonna be bad.
It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad.
But we do have a few talking points. I mean, we kind of talked about our initial reactions, all the injuries. MVP conversation has got to be talked about in week 2 because it's kind of a 2-man race right now. I mean, realistically, it is Kyler Murray and it is dangerous. Russell Wilson is lighting it up.
My number 3, and I think it's closer than I want it to be, but I still think it's those 2 on a shelf and then this guy. But Aaron Rodgers has looked like the Aaron Rodgers of old.
Oh, let's throw out another name. Josh Allen, baby.
Yeah, okay. There we go. Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
My boy, what did I say?
Yeah. No, Josh Allen is really good.
5 QB conversation this year. And I'm sure you could quickly list 5 quarterbacks you'd rather have other than Josh Allen. But Josh Allen has done some amazing stuff. And he's got 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, extending plays with his legs. Josh Allen is one of those quarterbacks who can win without an offense, and he's proven that. And
now he has weapons,
and now he has one. Now he's got a legit weapon. Look at what Minnesota is lacking right now. Minnesota looks flat. They look dead in the water without Stephon Diggs. And so maybe there was a reason for him kind of being a moody and stirring shit up in the locker room.
That's what they took. That's what it needed. They needed some life, right? Ejection of energy. And for those people who were like, well, where was Steph Diggs last week? Man, it was week 1, guys. Stop with that.
He had 3 for 7 years like that. But yeah,
I think he's like at 209 with whatever 2 touchdowns on the year or something like that. So it's not great numbers when you divide it by the 2. He had 1 great game this week. But again, it's week 1. Again, a new player in a new place with no offseason. Chill your britches. I think it's closer to. I think we get closer to week 2 production from Steph Diggs moving forward than you do from week 1. What's scary about it is if you guys watch that Bills game, Steph Diggs makes up for every little thing that Josh Allen may lack. Right, his catch radius is huge, so that inch or 2 that Josh may be off, whereas a laser quarterback might not be. Well, it doesn't matter because Steph's gonna get it. Yeah. If it's a little close to the edge, well, Steph's one of the best toe tappers in the game. He's going to get it, right? So he makes up for a lot of what Josh Allen may lack. And now that those two are on the same page moving forward, watch out because they are going to light you up.
We talked about this offseason, even before they went and got Steph Diggs. Give him a 6 foot wide, somebody over 6 foot.
Mm-hmm.
Like
he's always had these micro machines, yeah.
Yeah, he's always had these little guys, these John Browns, and John Brown's still taking the top off the defense. Cole Beasley's still eating up the inside, the underneath stuff. I mean, they have a very, very good, well-rounded offense.
Plus Moss and Singletary.
Two running backs, two bruiser running backs that are basically going to punish defenses left and right and wear them out come third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the game was closer than I think than what the film showed. I mean, on paper it was closer, but there was couple last second plays. They were already up double digits before.
Well, and the lightning delay threw shit off and momentum and all this. So anyway, it was a little different.
Back to the MVP talk. What Kyler Murray's doing is amazing. It is very impressive, but for Russell Wilson to do that again against a Patriots defense and to, what is it? He's got 9 touchdowns and 11 incompletions. He's got 2 more incompletions than he's got touchdowns.
That's a stupid stat.
Insane. And now you're talking about DK Metcalf coming into his own and being the dominant wide receiver.
Made Gilmore look like a fool.
I've never seen Gilmore.
Me either. Never. He got punked a couple times.
He got punked at when DK was blocking him. He got punked when DK was running. He hadn't allowed a touchdown, I think, since 2018. He didn't allow a single touchdown all of last year. And DK's the guy to do that?
Well, he's a fucking monster. He's huge.
DK's got the 9 route and like a couple other ones. It don't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, he can round off all the routes he wants. Like, he's gonna catch that ball. He's gonna body you.
Yeah, because are you strong enough to stop him from catching the ball? It doesn't matter what the route run looks like. He's huge. Exactly. He's strong. He's beefy.
It's like, but his 3-cone.
His 3-count was terrible. Terrible. Which is why. Didn't JJ Arcega-Whiteside go before him?
I think so. No.
Pretty sure Arcega-Whiteside went before him.
JJ Arcega-Whiteside went third.
Whatever. So there were receivers taken before DK that should not have been taken.
Before DK Metcalf, including, was it N'Keal Harry?
Yeah, N'Keal Harry. Yeah. Get out of here.
N'Keal Harry and N'Keal Harry looked good, but
not DK good.
DK.
No, DK is cut out of stone too.
He is. I mean, I think he is the next coming of Megatron, the closest thing we're ever going to get to it. And then Chase Claypool is like a spitting image right behind him. And I think come next year, Chase Claypool is going to make that same leap. He's already shown flashes, but he's just not getting a whole lot of attention, a whole lot of love. Deontay Johnson has kind of inserted himself as that number 1 target. And wasn't that you? Wasn't that you that said that?
I got it secondhand from Roy. I get all my Steelers insider from Roy, but he sold me on Deontay Johnson a while back. If you're keeping up with it, it looks like he's the number 1 in Pittsburgh and Juju's number 2. But again, Juju having a good season thus far, but Deontay Johnson's target share is insane.
So my question to you right now, if it's maybe right now we could say it's a 4-man race. Really, I still think it's Kyler. I'm not.
I think it's Russ 1A, Kyler 1C, right? Like, I think there's even a gap because if it comes down to it and it's Russ and Kyler, right, and they both have great seasons, I think the voters make up for the fact that Russ has never gotten this thing. So if it's close, it goes to Russ.
I'm getting ready to ask you, but I think it's whoever wins the division. If it's between the two, I think the MVP comes down to whoever wins the division. I do believe, I mean, you want to talk about like what team, what roster would you rather have, especially now? I mean, name me a pass rusher on the freaking on the Seattle Seahawks. LJ Collier.
I think their best pass rusher is Jamal Adams.
No shit.
I know that's sad, but I think that's their best pass rusher.
They've had to dial up blitzes like they've never done before. Like, they're really having to get exotic with it and get creative, which is nice when you have somebody like Jamal Adams just to insert him into this like, round circle square peg type of deal and being like, no, you're just gonna be this deep safety. You're gonna play the middle of the field. You're gonna be our center fielder. Like, this is what you're going to do. They're like, no, he can come off the edge, he can do all this, but to lose Bruce Irvin, and Bruce Irvin is like a shell of what he used to be, but to then lose him.
He was important to that team.
They don't have many pieces. really, I mean, they've got Bobby Wag and they've got Jamal Adams, and that right there, I mean, Griffin is a hell of a cornerback. They've got some pieces, but to not be able to get after the quarterback the way they do, and especially I can't wait, and I'm not sure when that matchup is going to be between the Cardinals and the Seahawks. I know there's going to be one coming up here in the next few weeks. That is going to be the telltale. But whoever wins the division, I think, wins the MVP race. I do think that you got to give a slight edge to Russell Wilson because it is a human vote. It's not a algorithm like our MVP metric says it is, which, again, I think our MVP metric's onto something because Aaron Jones has been tearing it up. But he was our Blitzlytics MVP metric winner as of last year.
But the story is going to have some weight here. Yeah. Because he's never won it and he's been so great. And Chris Collinsworth's story this week, by the way, Chris Collinsworth, you kiss my butt. The whole, well, I'd have gave him a vote, but I got kicked out for whatever, bro. It's still egregious that Russ hasn't had an MVP vote. So I'm with you. And is there anything more fun than watching Kyler Murray's fucking feet? Like, I've never paid attention to feet so much in my entire life. But dude has little feet like Muhammad Ali used to have. He just dances with them, man. I love watching his. Yeah, it's insane. I love watching Kyler Murray's feet. I know that sounds stupid.
my whole thing is, I think if you look at the stats, you got to give it to Aaron Rodgers right now. Aaron Rodgers killing it. But he played the Vikings and he played the Lions, and I don't give any credit to anybody who can blow those teams out. They play the Saints next week. So that's going to be a good one. I'm sure they smack them around and they go 3-0, and they're going to be another 13-3 team that gets blown out in the playoffs. Who knows? But
Aaron looks good, though. That's all that matters.
Second year in that offense is a huge difference.
Right.
Huge difference. But Devontae Adams got hurt too. Where's he going to be at? If they lack Devontae Adams, it's going to be the Aaron Jones show, not the Aaron Rodgers show.
And Lazard's had a hell of a start to his season as well.
Yeah,
and not near what Adams has, obviously, in production, but Lazard has looked miles better than I thought he would as a player. MVS is still getting some run too, so I think they'll be okay.
Scallon's got 7 receptions for 160 yards, and he's averaging 22.9 yards per reception.
Aaron looks good. Doesn't matter now. Adams not being there is obviously going to hurt those numbers a little bit. But again, I'm not afraid of the Saints, so I think they're going to win. Aaron's going to look damn good.
Well, we'll see where it goes, but let's see what's he got right now. Yeah, Aaron Jones, 34 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground, and then another 8 receptions for 78 yards and a touchdown through the air. 42 total touches, 7.4 yards per touch, 312 yards from scrimmage. Jones is killing it, and I would not be surprised if at the end of the season he's once again the MVP metric. But if Rodgers is putting up all these stats on the same team, it's definitely going to bring him down quite a bit.
Aaron Jones, I think at this point, I may have to lay some money in Vegas on him leading the league in touchdowns. He just has a nose for pay dirt, man. He gets in. He does.
And it's like if you have to worry so much about Rodgers, I mean, Rodgers has never had a run game like this before. He's never had a running back like this before. I mean, he's had some really good running backs throughout his time. What was it? I mean, when he was still,
did he get, was Amon Green before? I was going to say before or after him. Green. So yeah, probably the best he's had. Because we've had Eddie Lacy fail back there.
You want Pete Green or Pete Jones? Give me Pete Jones all day.
A lot of people forget how electric Amon Green was. I think it's kind of a push. I think it's a push, which shows to me how good Aaron Jones is, because I loved Amon Green. Jones has a better nose for the end zone, though, and there's no argument.
Led the team in rushing and receiving last week.
Yeah, and again, let's say, anybody in the league, you're on the 2-yard line with 1 to win it. Shit, I may take Aaron Jones as that guy because he just knows how to get into the end zone. It doesn't matter that he may not be the most talented back in the league, although I think he's very talented. He's no CMC. He's talent-wise probably not a Saquon. He's probably not even CEH talent-wise. but he knows how to do what he can, even with his limitations. And one of them is not scoring touchdowns. That guy just fucking like a magnet. I love it.
Yeah. All right. Let's dive into the worst 2-0 team and then the best 0-2 team.
I think we're both on the same page here with both teams.
Who's that?
Bears and Jets. I think undoubtedly.
You think the Jets are the best 0-2 team?
Oh, no, I thought we were doing worst of both and then best of both. Okay, my bad. No, the Jets are the worst team in football by a country mile. They lost to a third-string San Francisco team. So I just wanted to get that out there. The Bears are the worst 2-0 team. They could just as easily be 0-2. I do not believe that this is the Mitchell Trubisky you'll see for 17 weeks. Looked okay, really.
Shocked.
I am too, but I'm not, right? Like he historically will have a couple of good games, right? Like he just lights up a couple of teams. You're not going to get this from him regularly. Sorry.
Yeah. I agree.
So,
I will be shocked.
And they have no clue what they're doing in the front office. Let's overpay Jimmy Graham with a no trade clause. Let's now give Tariq Cohen some money when we drafted David Montgomery, and neither one of them are killing it right now. David Montgomery, I think, is a better back, but let's make sure we pay Tariq Cohen, all while our receiver is over here deleting us from his life. We're not going to get that worked out though. Like I don't. What's Chicago doing, man?
I do not know. It's bad. I feel bad for Khalil Mack.
I kind of do too.
I wish he could be a winner. I wish he could be a winner.
Man, we were so close to having him and Aaron Donald. Oh, you remember that, right? Like the Rams, the only reason we didn't get him was because the Bears thought the Raiders pick would be better, and it turned out to not be. But we could have had AD and Khalil Mack on one team, bro. The hell out of here.
Yeah, you wouldn't have Jalen Ramsey, though. There's no way you would have been able to do
That's true. And given what we know about splitting the defense and having one up front and one in back, I rather would have had Ramsey. But it would have been fun. It would have been nice. But then maybe you still keep Peters. So yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Leads the league in interceptions.
Yeah, because he's still doing what he was doing with the Rams. He still does what he does with the Rams. He'll take those chances, and he'll either get a pick six or he'll get burned, and you learn to live with it. Yep. Only his defense is so good around him, like whatever. It's more than living with it. You're just very fruitful because the rest of the defense is also great.
Yeah. All right. What about let's just expand on this. Who is the best 1-1 team, and then we'll go who's the worst 1-1 team. How about that? I'm looking at it. You've got Bucs.
Oh, that's rough.
Saints, the Washington football team.
That's easy. That's the worst 1-1 team.
New England Patriots, Browns, Colts, Jaguars, and Chargers.
I think
Niners.
I want to say it's between the Jaguars and the football team for the worst, and I'm not quite sure yet what to make of Gardner Minshew, who's looked really good the first 2 weeks. I think talent-wise, you're talking about the Jags have less talent, but for some reason they're playing way above their capacity. And Washington is just really got monsters on defense and not sure what they're doing offensively. So I think it's one of those two that's the worst 1-1. Best 1-1, I think, is going to be the Bucs. I think it's going to be
Bucs and Pats.
No, I think the Bucs are way better than the Pats. It's going to take time to gel, though. LeBron came to the Lakers, right? It didn't happen right off rip. LeBron and AD even didn't happen right off rip. It took a little bit for them to go. You see this with the best of the best. It takes a little bit to get it gelling, and you've actually seen some really good things from them, right? You've seen how when they click, it's going to be ugly for the league. You still, through 2 games, haven't had Godwin and Evans healthy. Still not quite sure what's going on in the backfield. You did get Fournette going this time. But once they get it all going, and you can just pound the shit out of a defense with Leonard Fournette and then pick them apart with Tom Brady, that's going to be ugly. And I think talent-wise, they're probably the best 1-1 team.
Oh, yeah. It's not even close because, I mean, Cam Newton is the New England Patriots' only offense at this point.
How many catches did Edelman have last night? 12? 13?
Quite a few.
Like, he kept just target. So if Edelman goes down, I'm really scared of where that leaves the offense.
And he looked like he was banged up. He took quite a few hits.
Yeah, he got whacked around last night, man.
So let me see where it's at. Edelman.
I know he was.
Julian Edelman's got 13 catches on 18 targets, 236 yards, no touchdowns, a high of 49, catch rate of 72.2%. I mean,
that usage is far too high for a guy that old.
Yeah, that old and that little.
That ticky tack and banged up, like, that's far too much usage for him. So at some point, I think we see him go down, which may stall the offense. The running game hasn't been great. I know I said it in the chat. James White statistically might not have been a giant loss, but heart and what he means to the team and how he can help you in certain situations. I think losing him this week was a big black eye to them. And again, condolences to him for what happened with his father. And I think his mom's still in the hospital. For his mom, T's and P's for them for sure. But that was a big loss for New England. So maybe when he gets back, we learn a little bit more, and maybe it's not so much Edelman, and the game plan just kind of had to go that way this week. But I'm still not sold that they are going to be as good as the Bucs have the ability to. So I can't put them in the same tier, although they are better to me than a 1-1 team, what you think of as a 500 team. Yeah. They're still fucking Bill Belichick, man, and it's still Cam Newton. It's hard to say no, but the Bucs are better.
Cam Newton is got a 71.4% completion percentage. Who would have ever thought that right now? Like 552.
What's his completions and attempts though?
He's thrown 45. He's got 45 completions on 63 attempts.
So that's
about normal.
He has the same amount of attempts as Joe Burrow had this week.
That's so sad. Dude, you have Joe Mixon. Run the fucking ball.
I'm not sure they even like Joe Mixon in Cincinnati anymore.
They just paid him.
I know, right? It's instant regret, right? Like, I'm immediately regretting this decision. I love what I've seen from Burrow. I do not like what I've seen from Mixon at all.
Why try to get shootout? Like, it was Cleveland's running the ball, turn around, run the ball right back. Like, just jam it down the throat. I know the offensive line is better, but it's not up to par by any means. Mm-hmm. But Burrow's looking good, man. Just give him a run game. Like, he's got the weapons. Just help him out. Help him out a little bit. I mean, it's going to be a shootout because their defense is trash. Like, They may be the 32nd ranked defense when it's all said and done. I would not doubt it. But
I no longer have any questions about Burrow, though. Those have all been answered. If you can be a rookie, throw it 63 times and have no picks, none, you're good with me.
I like Burrow's going to be good.
Yeah, damn good.
I mean, regardless of how Cincinnati, manages him, he's going to be good.
Yeah, I think he's the first guy that's going to be good despite what Cincinnati's doing.
Bad situation. Yeah. I mean, a bad situation.
Horrible. That ownership group has no clue what they're doing at all, and they lucked into the greatest college player of all time.
All right. I mean, your biggest surprise team, both good and bad, and then let's throw some players out there, and then we'll wrap this show.
Holy shit, Jacksonville. Is there another surprise? Jacksonville looks like not only a competent team, but a competitive team. Gardner Minshew, maybe, I thought it was a flash in the pan, swaglicious, and we all love him because he's fun. And then he comes out, dude is straight up balling with next to no talent offensively. Keelan Cole's his go-to guy, it seems like right now. You still got Chark there, but I think Cole leads in receptions or targets. You give away your defense. You give away Leonard Fournette. You beat the Colts and you're in it up to the end this week. That I am so surprised at the Jacksonville Jaguars, and never again in my life will I say a Florida team is tanking, because every time I do that, boy, they just come out and surprise me.
I'm in a full agreement with you, so I'll just transfer to the other side of things. Minnesota has to be the most disappointing team right now. I mean, we knew there was a lot of turnover, and so it could take a while, and they could have a bounce back game here and kind of a get right game. But they are so young in the secondary. They're so young. You know, they just lost Anthony Barr for the season too. There's another guy we didn't throw out there. I mean, we probably only listed 20% of the injury list.
It would have taken all day to go through the whole injury list. We'd have had, that's all the show would have been.
This would be a 1 week long show.
Cody Talks NFL is going to be 3 hours this week.
It is. I can't wait. Guys, best solo podcast. That was me, Cody. Best solo podcast, I think, on point. I listen to a lot of them. Like, there's a few I listen to, but I mean, damn, dude, I would be umming and skipping and like stumbling over my words. I suck when I have to do a solo for TVB. I think I've maybe done like 3 or 4 of them in 170, 160 episodes, something like that.
This is episode 170.
Cody kills it, and for fantasy reasons, just knowing what's going on. I mean, for your own team, for all 32 teams, but literally he goes through the injury reports. He lets you know what's going down. It doesn't get better than Cody Talks NFL for straight info. I know you and me just kind of come in here, we shoot the shit, we talk football, we give our opinions, we break down some games. But, I mean, realistically, Cody's got all the information anybody could ever need. And so if you guys need fantasy advice, obviously go to the Fantasy Voyage with RobRob and Cody. But if you just need to know who's going to be available this week, it is by far, Cody Talks NFL is just killing it.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a go-to. Like, I have to listen to it every week. I have to.
I get to listen live, baby.
I love you guys. I love you all. We got some amazing podcasts out there, but I have to listen to my Cody Talks NFL so I know what the hell is going on this week, or else I just feel lost.
Absolutely.
All right, surprise player, and then the biggest underperformer so far.
Oh, man. I hate to beat the drum. To me, the biggest surprise player is Gardner Minshew. Past that, I was surprised at how down Saquon was before the injury, and that kind of. I'm now a little nervous about Saquon moving forward in dynasty fantasy because this is now an injury concern guy who didn't perform well prior to injury. Daniel Jones seems to be the offense moving forward now. So I'm a little nervous about that and didn't like, but another guy, we talked about him earlier, is Drew Brees. Drew Brees feels like a maybe 22, 23, 24th best quarterback in the league at this point, maybe lower.
I would say I'm not super surprised, and I'm not trying to dog you right now, but I'm impressed that Ryan Tannehill hasn't skipped a beat.
Oh no!
I thought there was going to be I thought there was going to be a regression. I didn't think it was going to be to the extent that you had said, but I thought for sure there was going to be a regression. He hasn't skipped a beat. I mean, this is
I'll eat all that crow, baby.
Without AJ Brown, I mean, he's still killing it. Like, I mean,
basically this week, which was game scripted, it should have been game scripted for Derrick Henry, and Derrick didn't show up, and Tannehill won the game for him. I will eat all the crow. I was right last year on Tannehill. Kind of, that's my thing though. Now that I look at it, right? I said last year Tannehill's going to be good, blah blah blah, and I was right, and then I jumped the bandwagon. 2 years ago, Aaron Jones is going to be good, da da da. I was right, and then I jumped the bandwagon. I need to just stay on these carts a little longer, man.
Yeah, dude, ride that train ride that wagon
till the wheels fall off. Yeah.
But, I mean, dude, 47 of 67, 70% completion percentage, 488, 6 touchdowns, zero interceptions. Only had 2 sacks, got 120 passer rating, 85.5 QBR.
Great pocket presence.
Knows when to run. I mean, and Derrick Henry's got 56 attempts. That's crazy. 56 attempts in 2 weeks for 200 yards. His long is only 14, though. Like, he's got another 3 receptions for 15. But Derrick Henry is not. I mean, he's got 200 yards in a total of 2 games.
No touchdowns,
it
right? It
hasn't been the same. Only 3.6 yards per attempt. You know, no touchdowns. He has not dominated. You give a running back 56 attempts. Holy shit! I hope. I mean, realistically, that's not even. Oh, that's yards per attempt. That's yards per attempt. He's getting less than 2 yards a carry. It's not good.
It's not
good at all.
But that's the thing, though. It's not good. He's not having a great season. By any argument or any measure, Derrick Henry's not having a great season, and they still look good. So once Derrick gets going, I will admit I was wrong on Tennessee.
You know what? Jonnu Smith, though, sophomore tight end, stepping up
big time.
Stepping up
Won
big
me a
time.
fantasy league actually, and
Did he?
yeah, my money league. I did not win the Blitz 16 teamer as 4 of my guys got injured, but
Speaking of that league,
in my money league, he was essentially the reason I won. And thank you, Cody Manning. I took Cody's advice from the Fantasy Voyage and went and started Jonnu Smith.
Man, to get a win over Roy Countryman and Alexander Amir in 2 weeks, and not only get wins, I mean,
I'm so screwed in that league. Everybody I have is hurt in that league, man.
it feels so good. That's the only league I'm 2-0 in. I'm 1-1.
And we only have 3 bench players at that. We only get 3 bench players, so I'm just gonna have to cut some people, man. I don't know what to do. Cam Akers hurt. I've got everybody on that team is hurt.
You need to make a trade? Let me know. But yeah, look at this: Ryan Tannehill, Aaron Jones, J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Hopkins. I got Corey Davis and A.J. Brown. Corey Davis stepped up for me. Mike Gesicki, Zach Moss, Lambeau, Steelers defense, Josh Kelly, Landry, and A.J. Brown. This is by far. I've never done a 16-team league before. I've done 12s. I've done 10s. I've never done 16. I'm kind of digging this 16.
Yeah, no, 16 is hella fun.
My 16-team league is outscoring my freaking 10-team leagues. Like, that's bad. You know that's bad.
I don't know how it happened, man. This money league let me play and definitely shouldn't have because they're like, they gotta be some ammos, bro. Some amateurs. Like my roster is so set up, bro. Like this is a 12-team league. I've got Roethlisberger, Henry, Clyde Hilaire, Juju, Robert Woods, T.Y. Hilton, Jonnu Smith, Jonathan Taylor, Joe Mixon, DJ Chark, Antonio Gibson, Mostert, Deontay Johnson, Zach Moss, Mike Williams, and OBJ. In a 12-team league. The hell were you guys doing? These guys were taking defenses. They were taking kickers. They were taking backup quarterbacks. The guy I beat this week, the only reason I beat him is because he has 3 quarterbacks on his roster, and he picked the wrong one of the 3 to start. Like, get the hell out of here, man. You don't need all that mess. Like, I should walk away.
There's too many quarterbacks to go around right now. Like, unless you're in a 16-team league. Like, even then, if you're in a 16-team league, you better
still got quarterbacks. Yeah, for sure. But, it's the running backs that are killing me right now.
Well, before we get out of here, got to give a shout out to our main sponsor right now, Key City Brewing. Drink, Rebel, Repeat. I can't wait to go have myself a second Key Anniversary Imperial Stout. It is so good. So good. Also like to give a shout out to our guys, JP Peterson, JP Peterson Show, FanStream Sports for having us on every week. Tune in to JP Peterson's show on, I think it's 8:20 a.m. Tampa. You can also go to fanstreamsports.com and listen live. Please give us a shout out, a like, a follow on all platforms, but please help us get to that 1,000 mark. We need to get to that 1,000 mark on YouTube. And then we might have to throw out a giveaway in there. And then also, I mean, the biggest thing is this bad boy right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Prospect Encyclopedia. 418 pages of beautiful, beautiful content. Some of the best work you are going to get. I mean, guys like Mike Tanier, people from the Senior Bowl, people from the NFLPA Bowl are giving us shout-outs. We just got picked up by Target. So feel free, please, go to blitzlytics.com/shop. Buy today, or you can go to Amazon, you can go to Barnes & Noble, you can go to Target.com and buy the Prospect Encyclopedia. Look at him running.
I had to go get it. Got some new stuff in too, guys. Look at here. Boom.
Ooh, look at that shirt.
Blitz logo shirts.
I'm not caught me one of those.
You know it, bro.
And that mask.
Yeah, let me break this out for you guys too. Gotta wear one anyway, so you might as well look fly when you do it, bro. Blitzlytics, baby.
I'm about to get me one of those. You guys have to send me one of those. I need me one of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sick of wearing the masks. I'm sick of wearing them, but you know what? If it's got a Blitz logo on it, make it a little bit better.
We may have these available soon as well.
Woo, man.
Look at that. Just coming up with new swag. Blitz swag.
We got giveaways. We got all kinds of stuff going on, guys. So let's get to 1,000. And let's see. Well, me and RobRob will come up with some giveaway through the Blitzlytics Podcast Network. Again, available on everywhere you can find a podcast. We are there. Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, which is going to be turning into YouTube Music or something. I don't know. We're all over the place. So just come find us, check us out. Again, everybody that tunes in live, we appreciate you. We love you. Shout out to Jay. You are our man. We appreciate you, number one fan, and we
Super
are a
fan
big
Jay.
sir. Thank you very much for all the love and support. To everybody else, I hope your teams do good. Unless they're playing my team or they're playing the Rams, then we hope you lose. So, and then again, same thing from our fantasy leagues. I hope you guys lose because I'm trying to win.
Damn right.
Anything else, Rob? What am I missing?
I don't know. Last week we ended on me saying the 49ers wouldn't make the playoffs, and you got angry, and it's looking like it's not so hot a take.
You know what? Yeah. But you were saying that with a healthy Niners roster. It's kind of easy to say that now.
Hey,
I'll
man.
give you credit.
It's the NFC West. It's all it. Look. If it was just based on talent, all four of those NFC West teams could be in a playoff. So
they still could, honestly. Like, think about it. Our two teams. I don't see two teams coming out of the East like we originally thought.
The East looks garbage.
Eagles ain't going. Eagles aren't going. You could maybe see it's going to be if the Saints miss the playoffs, then I think you could see four teams from the NFC West.
Oh baby, let's do it. Let's do it.
That means Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have to step up. But then
I would not be surprised to see them get in the AB thing around week 8. So
the Niners?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, if OBJ becomes legitimately available, I could see the Niners taking a stab at him too.
I don't think he is.
I don't think he is, but the whispers eventually, the whispers in New York eventually turned into reality. So if it tracks the same way it did with the Giants, and again, they may just call Cleveland just to see. So who knows?
They could, but I don't think they have. In terms of cap space right now, they're kind of limited in the next couple. As
years. The Rams have taught me, the cap is a myth, baby. We were 400 over, and then just re-signed everybody. Like, we're just fuck it, let's play with this money.
Yeah, you can free up money, and then I hate to say it, but I think Quan Alexander may be expendable after this season just to free up that money.
Right.
They've got so many good linebackers. They're not paying Fred Warner at this point, so they can free up some cap space, pretty sure, and then. How much time is Richard Sherman got left there? I mean,
he's almost done.
You know what? Before we get out of here, speaking of the devil, because they had him as their number one cornerback all last year. PFF. I'm sorry. I try not to dog our competitor, and they technically are a competitor, even though what they do is way different than what we do. But what the fuck? I don't know if you guys have seen this quarterback ranking system that they've got. Again, I don't trust any of their player grades. I don't trust anybody who does their stats. I know some of the people that do their stats. We're not hating on them. Some of the people that do their stats also kind of work for Blitz League. So no, I ain't throwing no shade at nobody. I love everybody, and we do have some good friends at PFF. But to think that Jimmy Garoppolo is the number 3 ranked quarterback right now. To think that Sam Darnold is
anywhere on a list.
Russell Wilson is the number 8 ranked quarterback. To think that Patrick Mahomes is the 10th best quarterback in the league.
Any system with those results is a flawed system.
Kyler Murray at 19.
The hell out of here.
Bridgewater is ahead of Kyler Murray. Ryan Fitzpatrick is ahead of Kyler Murray. Ryan Fitzpatrick is ahead of Deshaun Watson. Gardner Minshew, what? Just
hard pass. Hard pass on all of that. Hard pass. It's so bad that it feels clickbaity.
Blitzalytics needs data first to really actually be able to pull out our player grades. Our player grades would be super inaccurate if we did it just based off of 1 or 2 weeks. So as of week 4, we will start releasing our MVP metric and our player grades, and they should be weekly after that coming out. So stay tuned for that, guys. But we're gonna go toe-to-toe with them this year. I think David versus Goliath. I'm ready for that fight now. Let's put our reports, let's put our stats, let's put our grading system to theirs. If this is the number 1 company in this industry at player grading, and everybody thinks it's a joke, let's go toe-to-toe. I mean, friendly competition. I'm not trying to hate on them. What they do is amazing in terms of being able to stat collect. They've got thousands of people that watch every single player on every single play of every single game of every single week. Good for you. Awesome. You still can't scout. You still don't know what you're talking about. And, yeah. Blitz versus focus. Let's go.
Let's do it. Throw them Dukes up.
I got that. I will feel confident. I'll put the house on it. Says
I don't own a house, so yeah.
I mean, I'm only like 1 or 2 payments into the thing.
Oh man, I'm renting this motherfucker. That's how we do. We rent.
All right. They're gonna bury us. They're just gonna there's gonna be Blitz. There's gonna be Pro Football Focus advertisements all throughout the Blitzlix website, and there's gonna be nothing we can do about it.
Whatever, man. Y'all the ones put Sam Darnold in a top 10 list.
Dude,
I don't give a fuck what the topic is, unless the topic is crappy quarterbacks. Sam Darnold does not deserve to be in the top 10 list. It's insane.
Some people, but
should have went. When that comes out, you run back and crunch the numbers, Chris. Come on.
Yeah. He's not the one doing it.
Yeah, but he's the face, so he gets it.
Each player on every play is given a +2 to a -2, depending on how they affected the play. Doesn't take into consideration scheme fit, doesn't take into consideration positional responsibility, none of that. +2 to -2, and then from there, an analyst then breaks that down and gives an actual grade.
Didn't work. Didn't work this week.
Okay. Yep. Good for you. Again, this has been the Blitz Breakdown presented by Blitzlytics.com, where scouting meets analytics and you meet the newest crop of off-field talent. Go hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Let's get to that 1,000 mark. 1K. Just 1K. It's not that much. That's all we're asking for. I mean, RobRob's got like 500,000 views on some of his on the documentary. Like, can we at least just get 1,000? Like 500,000 views, 1,000. Like that's all we're asking for.
That's all. You know, not too much. Not too much.
Oh, it's not that much. All right. At me at Jack Bourgeois, JACKBOOSHWA. Find my man at RobRob Graphics. Hit this man up if you need any graphics work, if you need any website work, anything you need. RobRob is your man.
Indeed.
Blitz out. Hot take that.
Oh man, this one's hard. Saints are going to lose this week. The Saints are going to be under 500 for the next 4 or 5 weeks.
I think it's going to be 4 weeks. I was right on this boat. By week 4, we're going to be talking about Davis and Tanner and Dayton. The Bucs are going to run away with this division after losing the path to success is too easy for Brady. Leonard Fournette will be the #1 running back here in just a few weeks, and Rojo will be sitting on the sidelines.